Hello everyone, and welcome back to an episode of EA James, where I am all about games. Today, I thought with the holiday season getting so close to us and Christmas less than a week away, we should take a trip down memory lane. We should breathe in some of the nostalgia that shaped us. And what better way to experience that nostalgia than with one of the most childhood-packed games of this season, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Let's jump in. Now, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee start off wonderfully. You watch the opening starter Pokemon lead you into your television, and you're breathed life into the fact that you're in this world. You're immersed and surrounded by living, breathing Pokemon. You've been updated and up-resed, and everything looks fantastic, and this appeals dramatically for all of the children back in the 90s who started off with Pokemon Yellow, with that little Pikachu following behind you and knowing you could do it. Now, immediately starting the game, you'll notice some issues. First, you'll meet your rival. And this isn't like the traditional Pokemon game, where it's yourself and Blue, or Gary, whatever you named him, as rivals. Instead, it's the new Pokemon trainer. His name is Trace. And Trace deals with an issue that I don't really care for, that was also introduced in the last generation. The rival doesn't really feel like a rival. The rival instead tries to be a very buddy-buddy friend to you, and instead of challenging and pushing you to grow together, he actually hinders you, and you're there carrying him along and picking up his slack on your course to becoming best Pokemon Master. After this point, you go out and you meet with Professor Oak, and you get your first starter Pokemon. And this is where the game really comes alive. Your starter Pokemon, whether it be Pikachu or Eevee, is very integral to the game. It will sit on your shoulder if it's Pikachu, or on your hat if it's Eevee. And it will always be by your side. This Pokemon will give you multitudes of advantages, from stat buffs to other Pokemon during battle, to specialized moves that only this Pokemon can have, to even holding on to a critical hit in the midst of battle because of affection you'll build up in the game with your bonds with your Pokemon. Next, you will go complete a few side quests and you're introduced to the first new feature of the game, the catching system. Now, unlike traditional Pokemon games, the catching system is modeled after Let's Go, and that was modeled after Pokemon Go. Now, Pokemon Go, being a very popular mobile game, is not set up to where you're going to battle a Pokemon and catch it like we're used to. Instead, the entire game opens up and becomes one giant safari zone. Through berries and other means, you help calm and tame Pokemon, and then catch them with Pokeballs. And this helps tremendously speed up the catching process in some cases. And each Pokemon you catch counts as a new Pokemon you have caught. So if you choose to catch 300 Rattatas, that is up to you. As you progress through the story, you'll learn all of the different aspects, and you get to all of the new things that really breathe life into this game. Watching all of the old places reimagined for us. Watching them come to life, even Viridian Forest teeming with bugs and Pikachu, and all of the different bug trainers, to the cinematic battles with the gym leaders, all the way to Cerulean Cave, where you will finally catch Mewtwo. Seeing all of these brought to life really helps you see all of the different surroundings have changed, as you have changed as an individual. Now, unfortunately, this leads me to another issue I have with the game. Although everything looks beautiful and crisp, occasionally there are some frame rate drops, particularly in very Pokemon-heavy areas, such as Cerulean Cave or Viridian Forest. That's where I noticed it the most. And additionally, although everything is rebuilt almost block by block to be similar in an up-resed fashion to our original games, nothing seems inspired. No dramatic camera angles, no fresh scenery. Instead, it kind of feels cookie cutter. It feels like someone just copy-pasted layouts into the game and then brought them to scale. And this isn't a bad thing. It helps us really get a feel for where we're at and really explore the world that we grew up in. But I just wish I could have seen a little bit more vibrancy to this world. Now, I did say that there's 153 Pokemon instead of 151. And this is another point of contention, which I don't mind so much. This game introduces us a new taste to Generation 8 in the form of Melmetal and Melton. Now, these Pokemon are exclusive to this game in that you have to actually make use of Pokemon Let's Go and Pokemon Go to achieve them. Once you reach Fuchsia City, where we used to have the Safari Zone, instead, you now have the Goat Park. In the Goat Park, you can transfer one Pokemon from Let's Go to your mobile device in Go, and that will give you a mystery box. This mystery box will then allow Meltan to spawn in your world in Go, and you have a certain amount of time to catch them. Now, to get Meltan's very strong evolved form, and yes, the mythical Pokemon can evolve, you have to get 400 Melton candies. And I understand some people don't really want to go for this obstacle because it's not counted towards completion, and it's not a prerequisite to finishing the game. But to know that you put in that work to get this super special, super sleek Pokemon is an achievement unto itself. But that's up to you. Going into some of the new features of the game, we have completely gotten rid of HMs, thank goodness. Instead, we now have partner actions, which your partner Pokemon can do. From Sea Skim to Sky Float to different areas of exploration, this really helps enhance the experience of the game instead of hindering Pokemon with moves you wouldn't want, and instead allowing you to feel like a cohesive world is coming together with the use of you and your partner. Now, the biggest new feature of this game is called Master Trainers. Master Trainers are trainers who have one Pokemon for each of the 151 Pokemon of the game. These Pokemon are typically level 65 to 80 depending on the trainer, and are optimized to be very challenging with special move sets that the Pokemon can learn to make it as difficult a possibility of you, who also have to fight them with the exact same Pokemon to win. And you get their title if you win. And that, although it isn't a big reward, makes you feel like you're really becoming a Pokemon master. Like you really are growing, like you really are improving. And I think that is so amazing. The only other big issue I have with the game is, unfortunately, we still have game-exclusive Pokemon. So if you're hoping to go through the game with an Alolan Vulpix and an Arcanine, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to pick and choose from your exclusives that you wish to have. And this leads me to one big concern I have for the overall situation of the Pokemon universe. Pokemon has always been a free and expansive world you can explore through internet capabilities. And now to have that locked behind a paywall, which opens up a few other features, I think will really turn off a couple people of the full experience of this game. To pay the $20 to have access to trading and online play, or to limit yourself in the game and go about it the best way you can. There are some workarounds. You can spend time in Pokemon Go and catch the exclusive Pokemon and transfer them. But some people don't want to spend that time to do that. They aren't even invested in Pokemon Go. They just really want to see the Pokemon world and how it's changed. Overall, I think that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is a breath of fresh air into Pokemon and gets us very excited for a new glance of Generation 8 coming out next November. I hope you all are there with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.